Okay, we're back, ready to start. The fellas are going to start out here with me. First, of course, is Alan Ludden, and backstage is his lovely wife, Betty White.
There she is.
There we are, gang.
How does she look in there?
She looks beautiful.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does. She looks beautiful. You look nice, too, Alan. It's nice to have you.
No, she doesn't.
And next to them, of course, is Chuck Woolery and Joanne Flew. There they are.
Get your hair out of your eyes.
No, he can't see. He just said that. He said, fix your hair, but he really can't see you.
No.
Unless you can see in the back of it.
I can't see it.
No, I don't think you can. And next to you, of course, is Alan Ludden and his lovely wife, Ann.
Yes, thank you. Great.
I said Alan.
Terrific, Bill.
Well, I tell you, I have to tell you now, I have been doing this all day.
We aced it. We did it. Yeah.
Now, they did this before the show. You said, now remember, I'm Bill and he's Alan, and I said it.
I'm sorry.
He fell right
He's really Bill
Let's
Cullen.
pretend like we haven't done it all.
No.
And next to Chuck and Joanne is Bill Cullen and his wife, Ann.
Right. There you go. Sorry. I thought that was my lovely wife, Bert Parks. In there.
No.
Sorry.
See, Alan, you got me all ready.
I'm sorry. I did that. I confess, friends.
I'm new at this, and here you are picking on the new boy.
I really did.
All right, ladies, we're going to get back to you in just a moment. We're going to cut you off from sight and sound. Bye.
I'll see you around.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Fellas, I'm going to ask you some questions about your wives and your lives together. When you have an answer you think your wife will recognize, press that little red button in front of you, will you? I'll only take one response, so you have to be first.
Don't
and
miss
now,
it, Bill.
speaking of first, here is the first question. It happened while you were dating. Anybody have a story for that? Chuck! All right, Chuck, tell us about
Interesting story. We had a blind date, our first date. I thought she was Sally Kellerman because they were both in MASH, and I'd never seen her before. Now, the interesting thing was she didn't want to go out from with a hillbilly from Kentucky, right?
Uh-huh.
She'd never seen me either. She was right. So the thing that changed the whole thing around was we went to a place for dinner that night, and I ordered her for a drink, a very fine, for a drink.
Oh, you ordered a drink
her a very fine champagne. I can't mention the name of it because you're not allowed to mention names. But it was a very fine... That's right. He knows. And she decided at that point that I was not a hillbilly from Kentucky, and she'd take me.
Okay, now, what are you going to use as a one- or two-word clue, then?
Yeah, champagne.
Champagne is a one-word clue worth $100 for your reading something. Okay. Okay, let's bring on the ladies now. Ladies, we have asked the fellas a question, and we have a clue. If you recognize your husband and can match his story from the clue, sound that little signal in front of you. Here we go. Here is the question first. It happened while you were dating, and the clue is champagne.
Oh, we got two.
Who was first? Joanne was first. Tell us about
it. Well,
easy, baby. Low profile.
is that my best one? We had a blind date that David Ladd had set up, and Chuck didn't want to go with me. Because he thought I was somebody else from the movie MASH. He just didn't think she was his type. Anyway, and I thought he was a hick. And I...
Yes?
So we went out to dinner, and as soon as he ordered me Don Perignon, I said, he's for me.
That's what I said,
Not a class.
That's what he said. Thank you, dear. We'll get back to you in a minute, ladies.
Okay.
Next question coming up. Okay, fellas, ready to go. Here is the next one. Dom Perignon, indeed.
Yeah.
Same question. It happened while you were dating.
Thanks, question.
Damn. You see that?
There you are, Bill.
My story is not as romantic as that. My story is simple and to the point. I was coming out here weekly from New York, and my wife and I were dating, and I would say, why don't you come up to the room of my hotel and have a drink, and then I'll take you home. And she said it would look bad, so I had read the Douglas Fairbanks autobiography. And I stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and there's a back door. And if you know how to park on Crescent and leave your lights on, you can walk in and come up the back way. And then I'd take her down and out the back way and into her car, and the people at the hotel never knew the difference. And my clue is I'm going to get heck from home.
Earth calling Bill.
I'm sorry I have to use two words, but I am the one that had the assignation. I am the one who will give the clues. I was doing this while you folks were in the peanut gallery.
Oh, my God.
Back door is the clue.
Back door
It'll
is
work.
the clue. It's a two-word
That's
clue.
one word.
You'll be sorry.
Back door
Is that one word or two words, Mr. Producer?
Back door's got a little hyphen in
That's
there.
two words, the man says. Okay, $50. Shh, don't give it away. Here we let's bring on the ladies. Okay, ladies, we have another question. We have another clue. The question is the same question. It happened while you were dating. And the clue is back door.
You're
up, man. I like to hear it.
Keep coming back to haunt me. I think Bill's probably referring to the fact that when he commuted and he stayed at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And
go ahead, Tony. Tell him a
the
bit.
easiest way to get to his room was through the back side entrance because I could park the car on Crescent Avenue and walk in that way.
That's exactly right. And that's worth $50 for you. You're with accepted. Thank you. All right. At this point, Betty and Ellen have $0. Joanne and Chuck have $100. Ann and Bill have $50. Yeah. All right. Now it is time for a Tattletale Quickie. So, reaching up here, we'll get the Tattletale Quickie. Each one of these questions is worth $100. Ladies, I'm going to ask it of you, but don't give me the answer until I ask it to. Girls, I'm going to give you a choice of 3 compliments. Which would you most like to hear? A man says, "You're one of the most attractive women I've ever met." A woman says, "You're the best friend any woman could have." Or a child says, "I wish all mommies could be like you." Let me say it again for you. Which one of those compliments would you most like to hear? A man says, "You're one of the most attractive women I've ever met." A woman says, "You're the best friend any woman could have." Or a child says, "I wish all mommies could be like you." Go away and think about it, ladies. We'll come back to you in just a moment. All right, Alan. Which one of those do you think Betty would most like to hear?
Well, now, if you had something about what a dog says, there'd be no choice. But now, between children, women, and men, I'll go with the man. She'll say she'd prefer the compliment from the man.
Okay, she'd like to hear that one. All right, let's bring on Betty. Betty, which one of those 3 compliments would you like to hear?
Oh, I'm afraid there's just no contest. I like boys best. I think a man should say...
No contest at all, huh? You know, Alan said the one category we didn't have here was a dog.
Well, that would be first if they did say that.
Why is that? Do you have a dog you talk to a lot? Is that
I
it?
have several I talk to. I talk to all kinds of animals.
Right.
She talks
Alan
to anything with a leg in each corner. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Betty.
Not as often.
Okay, Chuck, how about Joanne? Which one of those compliments would you most
Boy,
like to
they're
hear?
all lovely compliments. That's really
Yes, they
tough.
are.
And see, I'm going to have to rule out the children, I think, because we don't have children. So it's between a man and a woman, and being a good friend is a good one. I think I'm going to go with a man, too, because every woman likes to know she's attractive.
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to try that. Yeah.
Okay, the question is, which one of those 3?
Yeah.
Let's bring on Joanne. Joanne, which one of those compliments would you most like to hear? From a man who says you're the most attractive woman I've ever met, a woman who says you're the best friend any woman could have, or a child who says, "I wish all mommies could be like you"?
Well, I just finished a movie of the week with a little boy that I fell in love with. Aww, and so I would probably say I wish that a child would say that to me.
Okay, now
That's all right, darling. I don't mind, because that's sweet.
Tell her what you said, Chuck. Nevertheless, no
Later
score there,
on,
Joanne.
though.
Tell her what you said, Chuck.
Yeah, I thought that you would like to be attractive all your life because you're so vain and everything, you know.
Did you really say
I'm just kidding,
Chuck
darling.
said that. I didn't say that, Joanne. Chuck said that.
Is she
Thank
mad?
you. I'm sorry, dear. No score there. Okay, Bill, how about Ann?
Well, there's no question in my mind, because that same story I told earlier about the back door, last time he threw her out, the hotel detective said, "You're the most attractive woman I've ever thrown out." No, and I think, like most women, I don't know, I think she would want the compliment from a fella about being the most attractive woman.
Okay,
and she
let's
is.
see if she agrees. Yes, she is. And
Yes,
which one of those 3 compliments would you like most to hear?
I think the man saying the most.
That brings us to halftime at this point. Betty and Alan have $100. Joanne and Chuck have $100. Ann and Bill are in the lead with $150. Okay, gentlemen, change places. Fellas to the rear. Ladies, come on out here. While we're changing places, we'll break away for this message, but we're coming back in just a moment. Don't go away.